Good day and welcome back to Coach Mick. Today we are going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to take comments from the comment section that ask questions and we're going to answer them ourselves. The first question. So, one more question. How to know when players off balance or how to be off balance slightly? Thanks for your guidance. It really motivated.
So what I'm assuming is the commenter is asking how would you know if you're balanced during your stance. I'm assuming as a batsman. And as a batsman myself, for me, I try and find my center point. So on the balls of your feet, if I'm in my stance and I can lift my toes, I can lift my heels, I know I'm perfectly balanced in the middle of my feet. And from the side, obviously that's all dependent on what you prefer. Some batsmen like being a little bit more forward, some a little bit more back. I prefer a little bit more forward. I would say a good rule of thumb is to start in the middle and see what works for you from there.
I think also, just when we get back to that stance there, you can see with the knee slightly bent, that is also going to provide you a lot of freedom of movement and allow you to have a little bit more room for error when it comes to the balance.
Yeah. Right, the next question. So I'm a beginner, I see Virat Kohli and practice his stance and shots because there's no cricket academy in our town. So I see him and practice trying to replicate Kohli basically. Would this affect my game?
So I think if you are a beginner and there are no cricket clubs or academies or sort of extracurricular cricket in the area where you are, it's quite good to watch what the pros do and try to learn from the pros, because they obviously do a lot of the basics well for long periods of time. But I also feel that it is important to find your own way to do things, because each person is slightly different, your build is slightly different, your strengths and weaknesses are slightly different. So you have to find what works for yourself, and then you just need to keep repeating that over and over again and trying to grow upon each of those sections into your own game.
Okay, our next question. I've a problem placing leg spinners, especially those deliveries which are angled towards middle and leg stump and then from there turn sharply. I've tried playing them straight, but either nick them or miss completely, leading to getting stumped. Could you suggest me some ideas to work on it? That would be great.
Okay, so how I go about approaching this is how I try and coach the plane spin. Is you want to play the ball before it turns, so you want to try and either smother the spin or get on top of the spin as soon as you can, or play it after the ball has spun, so using the depth of your crease and watching the ball turn so that you can see it the whole way, and then playing off the back foot. So a couple of ways to smother spin would be double stepping, but I wouldn't recommend double step into a ball that's turning away, because then if it does go past you, it's beating everything.
Specifically not if it's turning sharply.
Yeah, especially if it's turning sharply. But if it's turning sharply and into you, double step is not the worst thing, because your body will get in the way, the ball won't go past you. And if it does beat you, the keeper's going to be unsighted for a long time and have a lot of work to do. So for leg spin specifically, if it's turning sharply away from the right-handed batsman, what I'd look to do is you could look to sweep or reverse sweep, so you hit him really onto the spin, reaching nice and far. So basically hit it on the half volley, takes it completely out of the equation, the spin. Or conversely, you're going to use the depth of your crease and then look to hit with the spin to the offside as much as you can. And if the ball doesn't turn, if it is perhaps a slide or something, you can then look to work it away to the leg side. Next question. So when I play front foot shots, my left leg and my thigh pains, and also when I play the flick shot, I hit my ankle bone and the pad. How can I correct this?
Okay, so I'm assuming this is all just based on front foot shots. The left leg and thigh pain could be that you are overstriding as a batsman. When you've got massive strides, there's a lot more pressure on these joints, and that could be the cause of the pain. Also, you're not getting your head forward, which means there's even more pressure there. When it comes to, okay, so firstly to fix that, just try and limit your stride a bit, go smaller strides and make sure you're in a good balanced position, nice and strong.
I think an easy way to see that, if then we get back to that position, is he's comfortably got his head over his front foot now. Whereas earlier, when his foot was far forward, it always feels like your chin's trying to catch up to the rest of your body.
Yeah, there's a lot of strain here on your body. It feels like everything's stretching.
A little bit of an old soul to be fair.
And then, so the ankle bone one, where he says he's hitting his pad, is probably again because when playing leg side shots, you need to make sure that your head gets far forward and you've got enough room for your hands to go through the line. So again, I think it's an overstriding thing. If you look from the side, you've got a massive stride trying to play leg side shots. There's no room for your hands to come through, and that's why you're making contact with your pad or your ankle. So for leg side shots, specifically your on drive and your flick, it's just kind of opening up and pushing your head forward. So your contact point is far in front of your front leg, and then you've got all this room for your bat to come through without any hindrance.
I think also just to add on to that, I feel sometimes if we're looking from the front, in the stride itself, I think we're trying to break too early through the shot with our hands, and that's when we get here and why the pad gets in the way. You just want to look to go with full face and then break on contact, because that's going to give you more control at the same time.
Our final question for this video. My wrists are breaking while I play drives. What drills can I do to fix this?
I think when it comes to this, it's more about what you do within the drills than the drills themselves. But what I'd say is try and keep it as basic as possible. So maybe in the ball of a cone or small pops. But the important thing is that when you do make contact, you just keep the back face going towards where you're hitting the whole time and keeping the back pointing. As soon as the back changes the line after contact, it means the wrists are breaking. And this is a problem because if you do it a little bit too early, you lose control of where you're hitting the ball. It can go in the air. You don't have the control and the power that you normally would. So just make sure that as you hit, the bat stays in that line for as long as possible. Trying to keep your hand from your elbow to your hand in one line without pushing the wrist out there.
Okay, I would like to add on to this. I think a really basic drill that a lot of coaches do use, and we have used it from time to time, is just hitting some balls one-handed. Because at that point in time, you enforce a good strong position with your top hand, whole joint arm, and you basically can't break it because your bottom hand's not taking control of the shot. So do some one-handed drives, and from there, add 1 or 2 fingers onto the bat, progress to 3, 4 until you've got your normal grip, and then you're good to go.
Thank you for watching today's video. If you did enjoy it or found it useful, please leave a like, as this helps us with the YouTube algorithm. As we are looking to do this video a few more times in the future, please leave your comments below with any questions and we'll try and answer them when we get some time. Lastly, please consider subscribing or sharing the video as you see fit.